I remember one time we went to this church in Frederick. And I remember going into the church, and when I walked into the church, all the diverse people were on the right side, and there was a few white guys on the left side. And I remember, because they're always saying, you know, black people, why do black people sit together? So when I walk into this church, it was a group that was putting on something about race unity. So I would find those things to go to. So I walk into the door, and in my head it says, don't sit with the people you know, go sit over here with these white people. So I listen to the voice in my head. I usually do better when I listen to that voice. So I go over there and I sit with these guys, and the preacher's talking about whatever he's talking about. And then so a couple times, you know, he'll say something, and I'll turn to the guys and say blah, 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 blah. And they just kind of sat there a little bit stoic, and they didn't say much. And I thought, you don't have to say anything, at least you're here, you know, and I go ahead and listen to whatever. So afterwards, this lady comes up to me and she says, what's your name? I said, Barbara Talley. She said, where do you live? I said, Germantown. And she said, it's just amazing how you interacted with the Klan. I'm like, what Klan? Those guys, that was a Klan. I said, wait a minute, you're the newspaper. What are you printing here? I don't want those guys to find me. I came home and I said, Gil, he said, what have you done now? I said, well, I didn't know they were Klan. I was chatting with them and whatever. They didn't say anything. They just sat there. But I was like, okay, I'm here. You're here. It's okay. You showed up. The second time I ran into the Klan, my babysitter was a white woman who lived in a trailer. And when her daughter got married, she decided to have a wedding at a firehouse. There's a little room upstairs, you know. And so I go to the firehouse with my present. She loved my little daughter. And so I'm a part of the family with the wedding, you know. I go there, and as soon as I park in front of the firehouse. I get out of my car. I have a present in hand, and the guy just says, over there. I mean, he just points like over there. So I'm thinking maybe, I don't know. So I just follow, you know, guy in a uniform says, go that way. You just kind of do that. Go across the street. And from my purview across the street, I could see that upstairs were all of my friends that were getting married. And they're looking out the window like, what are you doing over there? And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing over there. The guy just sent me over there. And they're like looking out the window. And then I look around and I see what's happening. And there's all of these black people on the corner. Now, mind you, at that point, 20-something years ago, there were not that many black people in this little town. You know, maybe almost in the state, but there was not in that town. And so then I look down the street and I see the Klan coming. And they're in full dress. And I'm thinking, what's going on? And then this is the NAACP. They're picketing. The fire chief had evidently called one of the fire men a derogatory name, and the NAACP was there protesting. I just happened to show up in the middle I'm going to a wedding, I think. And they're saying, come on over. And then I'm thinking, now the Klan's coming. I'm thinking, do I go to the wedding? Do I stay here? Now this is activism kind of stuff, right? So I'm like, wait, you gotta wait, you know. So the Klan comes to me. They're coming down the street, walking. And I get as close as I am right here. I mean, I literally could have tripped them. I mean, and with that dress thing they were wearing, we could have taken them. And I'm thinking like, you know, we could really take them, you know? I mean, they can't even run, you know, and they got all that long robe on and, you know. And so, but and you think, what do you say when you knowingly come that close to the Klan? Realizing my history, Harriet Tubman history, what they've done, you know, what do you do when you get that close to make your statement? When I got that close, I looked in the eyes of the person standing there in front of me. And because all I could see was eyes. They're covered up. And I saw that it was a child. Some tall, lanky kid. And at the time I had 5 children, and all I could feel was empathy and sorrow that somebody had spoon-fed this kid so much hate that all he could do was return hate. He wasn't born that way. We know that, you know, you're born pure. Children are born pure. Children are born whole. Just add a little or a lot of love and watch beautiful lives unfold.